it's very late at night, and I thought that I would make a video of me just sorting out my kitchen, because right now it's extremely messy. There's tins and packets of things on the surfaces that need putting away, the washing up needs doing, more tins over here, the flowers need flowing, the oven hob needs cleaning, stuff needs sorting out over here, the fridge needs clearing out, and a new bin line needs to be put in the bin, and the laundry needs doing. And this is just one room in my flat, but it is one room I have actually been working in quite extensively, as you've seen from my previous videos, which is why there is maintenance to be done and why it's messy, because there's been work happening here, such as cooking and cleaning, and laundry doing. So I'm going to also probably mop the floors. So yeah, let's get cracking. I've got some music on, I might make a cup of tea in a bit, and I'm just going to have to work my way through this stuff now. So first and foremost, I think what we're going to do is we're going to empty this bin and then put a new bin line in. So I'm going to try and find a bin liner that fits. I've got literally like 6 different types of bin liner, because I have a lot of different types of bins. So we're going to put one bin liner in the way in here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to just stuff in it already. I mean, I could just put this back in, but I feel like I would just empty it because I don't know what's in there. It feels like it's just glass, but I don't really want to put it back in. There's like a lemon zip packet in there which I'm going to have to fish out of my hands. Oh dear, the phone's fallen down. This is why, like I said, I'd be earning millions if I had good camera equipment, but I think that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I could do with some gloves, you know. I need a pair of gloves, everybody. Where have the gloves gone? Do not know. Right. Let us, right now, write on our blackboard here, which we've still got pan cover on. Let's add to that washing up gloves. WU gloves, washing up gloves. So for our next video we can have some washing up gloves, which will be great. What was I just trying to do? Yes, get this out. That's really not particularly pleasant. I'll just put it in the miscellaneous tin. So now what we're doing is we're getting another bin liner, and then we are going to put this voila. Et voila. Voila, we have a bin. It's in the right place. See, the dilemma I'm having now is that I want to put the laundry in, but you don't want to listen to my laundry going around the whole video. So I think I'm going to put the laundry in the drum, but not actually turn the drum on. We've actually already got some stuff in there, so we'll just add as much of this as we can. Take up my goggles because they don't need washing, and just to let you know, because you don't think you can see, this is what I'm currently putting into the washing up, into the washing drum. Like so. Like so. Like so. There's still quite a lot that needs to be put in, but it's not going to fit. So for now, we'll just close the drum. And oh no, I might add this, although it looks pretty clean to me, to be honest. I don't think that's actually been used. So we'll just keep that there. But I need to clean the oven, so I'm going to just put that over. Where the bin liners out? Bin liners need to go in the bin liner drawer where they belong. You know, just for the heck of it, I think I'm going to have a strepsil. Just because why not? Ain't nobody stopping me. Ain't breaking any rules here by having a strepsil. Okay. So first and foremost, we're going to put these flowers, which have been there a while, because I've been away for a week in Edinburgh, where I went to university for 3 years. 4 years if you count my year board. Lived there 3 years full time, barely came home. And the vase is going to need to be washed, so I'll put that in. But the first thing I want to do right now is I want to just put all the tins in the cupboards. So tins need to go in cupboards. Because I went to Edinburgh and I bought a food parcel because I thought I was staying, and then I ran out of money. So I may be going back. I just don't know what I'm doing yet. There's a lot going on in my personal life at the moment, which I can't really talk about on YouTube because it involves other people and I need to keep their identity private. It's safe to say there's some going down. So I have been thinking, and I'm like, would it be safer for me to be in another country right now? You know, no, I'm not a matter of public interest. I've only got like 10 views on some of my recent videos. But I'm not doing my YouTube channel really for anyone but myself and my son, you know. A lot of it's for my own protection and safety, to be honest. Holding myself accountable and holding other people accountable as well for how they treat me in public. But you know, I just I'm not doing it for anyone really but myself. I enjoy it. So when you have a passion project, you just kind of do it because I like to showcase other people's talents as well. You know, like being in Edinburgh, I didn't really feel comfortable filming the ticketed shows when I bought tickets or half price tickets, or even the free indoor shows, because when you're indoors it's like, it just feels a bit more like you're in like an exclusive club, and they kind of want the experience to be like organic, you know, like non-replicable. It's sort of like quite an intimate, close venue, and there's only 30 people in the audience, and it's sort of like you're all there for an experience together on that day. Like that's the beauty of theatre and live performance, is that no show is ever the same. And I feel like it's sort of supposed to be that way in a way, you know, and I wouldn't really want to film the whole thing unless I had the consent of you know, the venue managers or the performers. I don't really know why that is, but I feel like when you're in a public place like on the Edinburgh Royal Mile, it's like those people are outside, you know, they're very much accessible, and it's not so much an intimate show, you know, you're not like indoors with just a small group of people and a performer. You're outdoors where anyone's free to join, watch, you know, and it's a gig for all, which is, I think, kind of the beauty of the Edinburgh Fringe, is that it was made to include everyone. Like, you can literally do Edinburgh. You could do the Edinburgh Fringe, no word of a lie. If I'd have planned, you could get a hostel. If you booked well in advance, obviously, you could probably get a hostel for £20 a night, maybe even £15 a night. So let's say you're there for a week, you get a hostel for £15 a night. If you book well in advance, then the shows, you could go to all the free shows. You do not have to spend a single penny on the shows because you just click the free option. You can even do free shows on the go, conveniently. So you're not paying for entertainment at all. And then travel, you can just walk everywhere. You know, obviously you wouldn't be able to see 6 shows a day if you're walking. You'd have to maybe only see 3. Don't have to spend any money on travel. As for food, well, I would say that the backstage cafes are quite expensive. It's like £11 for a hot meal. But unless you're homeless, you know, or vulnerably housed, then you can't really access low-cost meal options. However, there are lots of community cafes in Edinburgh that you can go to. You know, community centres, children's centres, family centres, even during the Fringe, where you can pick up some cheap food. There's, you know, £3 for 15 item food banks. If you are really struggling financially and you are trying to do the Fringe on a budget with maybe your children as well, then there are ways to do it very cheaply. And I think that's the beauty of the Fringe. And that's why I went to Edinburgh University, because of the Fringe, because I just could sense that it was really a festival that is inclusive. I mean, I'm sure it has its limits, like everything in this life does, but as for social mobility, I think it is fantastic. I think it's brilliant. It was made after the Second World War to revamp the city, to revitalise the city. So sorry about that, I just had to go and get my cleaning product. I just checked that we're still filming. Yeah, I think we are. So where were we? So we've got these like sachets, porridge sachets, which I can actually take out of this box. I do want to start having porridge in the mornings, but I've got kind of bad insomnia, so it's quite tricky to have a consistent sleep pattern when there aren't spiders and things, so with them it's not impossible. But these porridges can go. So this is the problem, there's just not enough space for everything. I don't have a cereal cupboard, but we can just put them in here. We can put them there. And then the fruit and fibre box can also go in here as well. everybody, we're getting there. And then we've just got a bunch of tins stuff, which to be honest can probably all go in here as well. I think the onions are going to have to be thrown because I've literally been gone for a week. So a lot of stuff will have gone off and need to be thrown away. So I'm going to just chuck all of these onions because we've just been gone for too long to keep them. Barbecue and garlic sauces can be kept. Can they? Nah. Throw those away, the poppadoms. 4th of August. They've gone off. So throw those away as well. And then we have got these rolls. All of those have gone off. They're mouldy. That is not good, but it's because I've been away for a week. But that was not pleasant. That was not pleasant at all. At least we're facing the fact that we need to be planning. Plan everybody. Plan your trips, plan your life. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Although I don't really see this trip to Edinburgh as a failure because I had a really good time. So it, you know, as I say, everything in moderation, including moderation. Sometimes you take that trip, you book that flight, you do it whenever you want to do it, as long as nobody's you know, affected negatively by your actions, then you do what you've got to do. You do what you've got to do. Move that over, and we've got these bananas which need to be thrown away because they've been there too long. Too damn long. I'm throwing away the popcorn as well. There's a lot of flies over here, which is not what I want really, is it? I'm going to throw this cereal as well because that's still, if it's been opened, it's not good. Brown flakes, I'm think I'm just going to throw those as well. I just don't like stuff that's open. I need to start labelling things so I know, you know, how long they've been open for. But I'm not taking any risks when it comes to my kitchen. It's my kitchen. So, lesson learnt. This is another while. So we will throw those. You know, this is what life is like. You know, I'm living, I'm alive, and I'm living. This is a lived-in kitchen. This is from porridge. Put that in the cupboard. So as I say, you know, when you are cooking and eating and preparing food, then you have to do regular chuck-outs. This is the fan heater I was given by Northern Gas Networks, which needs to be put somewhere else, not in the kitchen. So that leaves us with a bit more space to put the air fryer not in the fruit bowl. That can go here, and plug that in over there. We don't actually need the gas hob anymore, so we don't need that anymore. So I'm just gonna unplug that. It needs to be clean. Maybe I can give this to like a homeless person or something, or a charity that supports people who've just moved like I had when I needed it because I didn't have an oven for 2 months. Okay, so this fruit we're gonna have to throw because I don't know how long it's been there. This bowl can be washed. And then we're getting there, we're making some progress. Like at the moment I'm keeping bags like down the side of the oven, but because I'm a bit OCD in that I like things to be very tidy and organised, not when it comes to certain things. Like I'm not OCD when it comes to my child, for example, but there are certain things where I am quite meticulous and I like things to be very ordered, kind of like, I can't remember if it's Japanese or I think it's Japanese culture. I was watching a prison documentary about a Japanese, it wasn't a prison, it was like a juvenile rehabilitation centre, but it was all about like walking in order, and, you know, kind of marching, but everything had to be tidy in this sort of prison. And I know, like, in Beijing, they've got these amazing, because my auntie lived in Japan for 9 years. She speaks Japanese, and I know, I've never been to Japan though. I'm limited in my knowledge on Japanese culture, but I know a little bit. And I know they have these, like, amazing gardens in Beijing. One of my ex-managers in a corporate office called River and Mercantile, he used to be a foreign diplomat in, I think, Beijing. And he told me to go there, but I know they've got amazing gardens, but it's all very ordered. And I really like that. You know, I like that in some elements of my life, you know, and not in others. But I do like it. And so I wish these flies would go away. We're going to have to do a big clean, everybody. But anyway, for now we're going to stick to just doing this bit of washing up because it needs to be done. So we'll put the chopping board behind there. This fridge thing needs to be put back in the fridge, but we need to clean the surfaces of everything first and then empty the fridge, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to be cleaning the fridge today just because that's like next level deep clean, but I think I am going to empty it and then put the shelf in. Maybe in a future video we can do like a deep clean of the fridge like I did in the Holbeck flat. But yeah, so now I'm going to just sorry, I'm losing my train of thought there. I thought this cleaner thing, which is not a Brillo pad, you have to keep adding the soap, which is a bit annoying. I'm sure they probably do have extendable Brillo pad. I'm sure there's so many washing up tools that you can buy. I just can't really say I've spent that much time doing much research apart from just window shopping around a few different supermarkets, like one in Crown Point and a few Asda's, Tesco's and stuff. Oh, and B&M was good for washing up appliances. But yeah, so I'm just going to be washing up this stuff now. Washing up. It's a very like sensitive experience, especially with boyfriends. It's like they all have their mothers who like washed up in like a particular way. You know, like all young boys who grown up watching their mothers doing the washing up, and also their fathers have watched their mothers doing the washing up. So I think it's got quite like a sensitive area for men, I think. This is my experience. But like I say, this is my flat, you know, I just live here. You know, so I'm doing the washing up for my son, but for myself too, so you know, I don't really have to worry about how my technique is as such right now. I mean, love this little plate, this cookies and cuddles plate. I love it when I see something like, I don't usually buy house homeware, unless it's literally like shouts like that's a bit of me, you know, it's literally like that has my name written on it, and then I'll buy it. But I'm not really the sort who, I don't know, I mean I've got a few bits, but I just can't really imagine myself when it comes to, because I don't know why, but I can't really imagine myself when it comes to my flat of just suddenly going out and in one day kind of like buying everything I need for the flat. I don't know, it's like I'd rather do like homeware shopping through like over a period of time, you know, because it's only recently that I started thinking about, you know, having my own place, even though I've had my own place for not my own place, I haven't bought it, so it's not mine, but I've been renting loan. since about May 2023 now. For the best part, with like a few gaps here and there, of like maybe like 3-month gap. No, about an 8-month gap where I was either living in shared accommodation or I was living in residential. So it's been like 2 years minus 8 months. So about a year and a half been living on my own. That makes it sound like it's been longer than that. It's been about just over a year and a half I've been living on my own. I've never actually lived on my own before this ever. I've always had a roommate or like 6 housemates or 10 housemates or flatmates or housemates, or been living in like residentials or things like that. So it is nice to have my own space, but it's also quite challenging. You know, I mean, I think unless you're literally married to the love of your life with 3 children, maybe is domestic bliss, but let's face it, we all have our problems. But as far as dream homes go, living on your own, I guess, can be great. But it's tricky when you're stuck in a limbo between being a mother and being like a bachelorette, like a corporate bachelorette, or whatever you want to call it, because it's like you're stuck in a limbo, and that ain't ever easy. But then I suppose it's like, you know, only I define who I am. I think it's very sad when you only become defined by other people's perceptions. But at the same time, you can't lose control of your narrative, because that's when the danger introduces itself into your life, when your whole like reality is completely dictated by other people, or when you perceive your life as looking somewhat in some way, and then other people are looking at it from an outsider's perspective, maybe without the full awareness of like maybe how you're spending your private time, or you know, maybe certain contexts they're not aware of, for example, and then you're perceived in a very different way to how you see yourself, and then that's when it's a very tricky path to walk, because you're having constant push and pull, and like people start making big choices which just don't suit your life that you want to lead, or who you think you are at all. And then you're literally like, your identity gets pummeled, and you sort of lose part of your lifestyle, you lose your identity, maybe you lose your health, your relationships with your family, your money, your career, your livelihood. You know, I mean, ultimately though, rules will always exist. They will always exist. So there's only so much you can do. I think the key is just not to give up. Also, I think the key is to not trust anybody as far as it goes, that you have to be safe. Even the people you may think are there to protect you and have a duty of care to you, as we all know, there's medical negligence, clinical negligence, systemic negligence. This pate's really hot, just burnt my hand. And I don't really want to get too much into the nitty-gritty of it all, but I think just having your own security measures. You see, a lot of people have good common sense, like myself. And actually, I think sometimes the things people think are dangerous are actually just the most stigmatised, rather than being the most dangerous. They're just the most stigmatised. And people are like sort of curious and jealous, and people like to destroy things they don't understand. You know, can't control. So, but all I'd say is just don't give up, really. Try and keep moving forward. You know, no matter how many setbacks you have. But one thing I can say is that sometimes you can't. You know, and there's so many like motivational speakers on YouTube who are so well meaning, but if you've experienced like real PTSD, or cancer, or a coma, paralysis, and sometimes when the whole salesman moving forward, not back, getting up, brushing yourself off and moving forward is just like absolutely impossible. But I don't think that those people are trying to say, I'm speaking to everyone here. I think that the target audience of those like life coaches online, like Joe Wicks for example, are people who have their stuff together. They have a target audience of people who actually are quite healthy. I guess being part of communities like that is as well. But there will always be criminals, everyone. So all you can try and do is just still keep living your life, still keep moving forward. In a lot of, I was reading about some kind of positive movement or positive organisation recently, and they were praised for how they always took educated risks. In the corporate business world, educated risks are praised. They're praised. But for some reason, sometimes in society, especially towards women, they're not praised for taking educated risks. And I think when you have children, you have to be careful with taking any sort of risks. That's just the nature of it, because you have a dependent. You have a dependent who can't have the luxury of being able to say, oh, maybe this risk can pay off, or maybe there'll be some minor damage, but I'll be okay. When you have children, you cannot have any minor damage. So I do get it, but then at the same time, there will always be people who have something bad to say no matter what you do. So, and any element of living involves a small amount of risk. Walking out of your front door, there could be a mass shooting or a tsunami or get hit by a bus. So, it's like, I'm going to throw these tortilla wraps because they've been open now. It's like anything in this life, you just have to kind of do what you need to do within reason, everything in moderation, including moderation, and realise that things are so complex. That's one thing that people need to understand in this life. Things are not black and white. They are more complex than you could ever imagine. Human beings are so complex, And I think anyone who gives others the time of day without getting much back in return is seriously... Oh my god, I've got milk powder here. Dried skimmed milk. Do you know what? I'm going to keep the dried skimmed milk just because right now I have no money. I don't even have any money to buy milk. So we are going to be needing this. So I think I'm quite a good example of someone who has taken a lot of educated risks. And a lot of them have really paid off and continue to really pay off. But maybe I need to improve my security measures. Because I think I know Dwayne Johnson spoke about this in a recent film. He was like, I think it was a cartoon I saw recently, a kids film with a brave female girl as the protagonist, and he said to her, you need to improve your recruitment procedures. But I don't necessarily think it's about recruitment. I think it's just any tradesperson or any human moving through cities, especially if you're not born in a small town or village, it's really difficult to adapt to that way of life. I'm a city girl. I was born in London, the capital city of the whole of England, the biggest city in the whole of the UK. I can't just be maybe I could be a farmer's wife or a farm girl. Farmers, anyone, drop me a message if you want to get to know me. But I have my identity, I have my way of life, I've experienced pregnancy, I've got through pregnancy, I've had a healthy baby, I know some stuff. I haven't passed with flying colours in all areas of my life, but I am still alive beyond the age of 30. A lot of people don't make it past 27. Again, criminals will always exist. But I think, if you're well-intentioned and well-meaning, then why should you be targeted? Why should I be targeted? I haven't done anything wrong. I have not done anything wrong. Needs emptying. This Mexican heater. That went off. Goes off in September. This stuff is all okay. But I think that the strawberries need throwing, and these tomatoes probably need throwing. The sour cream, creme fraiche. Yeah, a lot of this stuff from Saturday has gone off now. That doesn't go off until the eggs don't go off. 20th of August. Salsa, butter, mushrooms probably need throwing. Yeah, it's a shame, don't get me wrong, that I'm having to throw all this stuff. But I'm really glad I made that trip. You know, sometimes you just need to get away to clear your head. And I'm glad I did. So I'm not gonna go back to that. I'm not gonna go back on that. 7th of August and 26th of August. Why have I got the celery? I don't even remember that. I think it's like something I realised that as a woman, when I say things like, I'm not going to go back on that, people get really like, oh, okay, oh, she's not going to go back on that, oh, stay away from her, she's kicking off. It's like, if a man says that, you know, like in business world, I'm not gonna budge on that. Like, you know, Donald Trump or Steve Coogan or someone in power says, I'm not gonna budge on that. That's my opinion. People don't give them any nonsense in return. It's like, okay, he said his piece. We're gonna have to do some work if we want to change his mind, because he's obviously feels very strongly about this. It just annoys me when, you know, like for men who have daughters, I don't think they'd ever say, oh, you know, my daughter is expressing a strong opinion about something and being assertive and like, so let's just make fun of her, you know, and pretend, in order to discredit her, pretend that she's kicking off, or, you know, giving us a piece of her mind just because she's like, look, listen, I'm not going to budge on that. There's certain things that I think I will always budge on. There's certain things, like many things, that I'm not fussed about. You know, seeing you come into my kitchen, you're seeing me in my own kitchen at home. A lot of people would never put that on the internet in a million years. But I'm okay with that, because I'm a human and I have my boundaries that are based on my life experiences, my